So it's another Transformers movie. Here we go. Oh my god, that was terrible. Bumblebee is the prequel to the original the original Transformers movies, and it follows, you guessed it, Bumblebee! They get a bad rap, but I actually enjoyed the first 3 Transformers movies. Yes, even the second one, even though it definitely was the lesser of the 3. The 2 that came after the original trilogy, though, definitely left something to be desired. But that's something for another day and another review. Because today we're talking about Bumblebee. I wonder how many times I'm going to say Bumblebee in this review. The movie follows our titular main character Bumblebee as he first arrives on Earth back in the glorious 80s. At this point in the story, he apparently is the only Autobot on Earth. There are some Decepticons that followed him though, and he promptly gets his ass kicked in the very beginning of the movie. Through a course of events, he becomes a Volkswagen Bug and then ends up in the possession of Haley Steinfeld. The story from here is nothing to write home about. It's not awful, it's not even bad, but it's not great. It's good enough. What really shines in this movie, though, is the characters. One of the sins of the other Transformer movies is that it focuses totally on the human characters and not the actual Transformers themselves. And yes, this movie has human characters it focuses on as well. It also does a much better job of focusing on the actual Transformers, or the Transformer being Bumblebee. This one does a much better job of balancing the two. It also does a much better job of having interesting human characters to focus on. Haley Steinfeld does a great job here of being a very relatable character. She's not a bumbling idiot or comic relief in the slightest. She's an older kid who's about to enter into adulthood and actually does have some serious depth to her character concerning some things that have happened to her in her past. Also, her family is represented well here too. Unlike the previous movies where the main character's family were a bunch of annoying idiots, no one here is annoying. And that kind of goes for the whole movie. The previous movies were littered with annoying, offensive, dumb characters. Not here though. The characters here actually have some substance. I mean, it's still a Transformers movie, but none of the characters are unintentionally annoyingly grating. Bumblebee himself is also represented in a much better way in this film. He actually comes across as an actual character that you care about in this movie. There's more heart displayed in this film from that character than there has been in the whole entire series up to this point. And that's really saying something, seeing as how there's been 5 movies prior to this that this character's been featured predominantly in. I've heard a lot of people talking negatively about John Cena's character in the movie. I actually enjoyed his character and thought that at times he was saying what we, the audience, would be saying in this situation. He had some genuinely funny moments and lines throughout the movie, and I didn't have a problem with him being there at all. Going into it, I really wasn't expecting a lot with this movie, but after seeing it, it reinvigorates the franchise in my opinion. This one movie has more heart than all 5 movies that preceded it. There's also the change of background. As stated before, this one takes place in the 80s, and the movie is absolutely a nostalgia trip for anyone who lived in the 80s. The soundtrack especially is jam-packed with mid-80s hits, and if you have any kind of affinity for the 80s whatsoever, you're gonna be happy here. The movie has great effects too, but I think that kind of goes without saying at this point. Everything on screen looks great. That's not to belittle the great job that everyone involved did to bring all these characters to life, but the fact of the matter is, after 6 movies, we kind of expect it to look good. And it does. Clearly this franchise isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But honestly, after this, I don't know where they go from here. I'm afraid that Hollywood's gonna say, oh, well that single Bumblebee movie did really well. Let's give every single character in the Transformers universe their own single movie. And they'll run that into the ground until it's just soulless and no fun at all as well. I really hope that doesn't happen. But I do hope that creatively, they go in the same direction as this movie did moving forward. Overall, Bumblebee is a great direction for the series. It reinvigorates the franchise, it has great heart, it got rid of all the awkward, offensive humor, it's exciting, and overall, it's just a really fun movie and totally worth a rent. This movie's just a really fun movie, and by the end, it just leaves you with a really good feeling. So there it is, guys, my review of Bumblebee. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.
And I'm not going anywhere.
For all the things they changed, thankfully there's none of this.
It's not the last time I'm gonna see you, you know, B? Come on, don't do that. B, you're killing me, B. Come on.
And for the love of God, there's none of this.
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
Oof, this shit's cringeworthy, man.